franchise is under Jerry Jones and if they can get to a Super Bowl and back in the early part of the 90s. So, going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. See y'all on the phone lines wanting to weigh in. See you on the text line 205-834-9450. That'll get you on the courtesy GMC text line 1-800-239-9569 if you want to chime in on the phone lines. We will hear from you. What do you think about the possibility of Deion Sanders heading to the Dallas Cowboys? We hear from you next here on Morning JOX. Welcome back into Morning 4-5. Conrad and Damon here with you, getting your reaction to Deion Sanders potentially taking over the Dallas Cowboys head coaching job. If you're just tuning in, last night it was reported that Jerry Jones and Deion Sanders have had a conversation about that possibility. Deion Sanders said it was intriguing, but he loves Boulder. He also loves Jerry Jones, and so it certainly is something that he will think about. But according to him, he loves his team. He loves being in Boulder, and he loves what he's putting together there. But the Colorado fans may be singing Fall Out Boy here in a couple months if he indeed is heading on his way to the NFL. So, going to get to your calls, your text here in 1 second. Just wanted to pass along a couple quick college football notes for you about Alabama and Auburn mainly. So, Alabama, the big news yesterday, unfortunately, if you're an Alabama fan, was that Ty Haywood, 5-star offensive lineman, decommitted. Granted, this was not a huge surprise because he did not commit in the early signing period. And once Michigan ponied up for Bryce Underwood, the belief was that they were going to pair him with a very high-profile offensive line recruit, which was Ty Haywood. And we had heard that rumor for, over a month now. So this wasn't really a big surprise. People that cover recruiting essentially yesterday were saying, yeah, we were told he was decommitted, a month ago, but he just officially made it official because, people got to put their graphics out and stuff. That graphic business has to keep booming. So that's the news for Alabama. Ty Haywood decommits. Not a big surprise there, but likely going to be headed to Michigan. And then on the Auburn side of things, you did get somebody to take their name out of the transfer portal yesterday, and that is C.J. Johnson, the safety. Redshirt this past year, was a part of the 2023 recruiting class. But another piece there in the secondary coming back for Auburn. And then last but not least, not for Alabama and Auburn, but we are talking about coaching changes here and just something worth noting. Well, first off, Clemson hires Tom Allen from Penn State. I think that's a very good hire for Dabo as defensive coordinator there, the former Indiana head coach, the head coach of Kalen DeBoer when he was at Indiana, if you're looking for that little interesting connection there. But quickly, two other college football coaches whose names have been mentioned in the NFL ranks. Just throwing this out there. I think we all heard Marcus Freeman. His name was thrown out there for the Chicago Bears vacancy. Done an incredible job there at Notre Dame. Makes sense why they would be interested in that. The other name that had been floated around, potentially for the Cowboys as well, but according to reports, had been floated around in other circles as well, Steve Sarkisian. So that doesn't mean that either of those guys are leaving, but if you're looking at head coaches prominent head coaches in college football that you might hear some rumors about as these coaching searches continue in the NFL, Marcus Freeman and Steve Sarkisian seem to be the names that you would need to keep your eye on. So getting back to Deion Sanders potentially heading to Dallas, getting to your text real quick on the Courtesy GMC text line. We have somebody that texts in, they say, remove Jerry's phone, lock him in his office, trade Dak Prescott, and give control to a proven professional coach, either a Super Bowl winner and not P.T. Barnum. Jerry is the problem there in Dallas.
I agree with him, except for one thing. I don't think you need to trade Dak Prescott because I think he may be the only. There's it again.
Him, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons.
I think those are the three you need to have.
Diggs, maybe those. Yeah, but really those three are.
They're your core.
That's your foundation right there. Unless you really want to blow it up, and you would get a lot for some of those guys. But I don't. That just doesn't seem like the way that the Cowboys would go about things. Michael Texan, he says, Jerry messed up when he fired Jimmy Johnson. The Cowboys haven't been the same since. You're not wrong.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You're not wrong. Richard texted from Hoover. He says, as a lifelong Cowboys fans, if they hire his ass, I'm done with them.
Oh, boy.
All righty then. Let's see. Somebody texted in. He says, good morning, fellas. Troy Aikman spoke about it on one of the broadcasts this weekend, and he all but said that Jerry Jones is the problem there in Dallas. I think we all understand kind of what the situation is there, but Jerry Jones is one of the most one of the most powerful people in the NFL, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, to be completely honest with you. But to the phone lines we go now, where we have Melvin, who wants to weigh in on Deion and the Cowboys. How are we doing this morning, Melvin?
Pretty good, guys. Pretty good. Besides being a big Auburn fan, I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan, and I've been loving Dallas for a long time. I agree with the guy that we haven't been, the same since Jimmy Johnson got fired, who was winning Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Winning Super Bowls and still got fired. So everybody's saying stuff like, hey, it's good Mike McCarthy is gone. No, Mike McCarthy is not the problem. He's not the problem.
He's a good coach. I think he gets too much hate.
There's people that don't like him, and I think he's going to interview with New Orleans now, but I think that was wrong that he didn't get to interview with Chicago.
He's going to get to interview with Chicago now, but yeah, the way that was handled was not great. But yeah, I think I saw a report he's going to interview with the Bears on Wednesday.
But I really don't think Deion going to make a move just yet. I think eventually he might try, his tested waters of the NFL, but I don't think right now it's going to be the time. It's just not setting up for him. But anybody that goes to Dallas, coaching wise, their hands are going to be tied because of Jerry, and we just not going to do anything until he sells that franchise. But enjoy the show, guys. Thanks.
Appreciate you, Melvin. Thanks for chiming in this morning. Let's go to Ronnie in Birmingham. Wants to chime in about the Cowboys. How we doing, Ronnie?
I'm doing good. How about y'all, man? I'm a 49er fan, but I want to say about 3 quick things. I'm gonna make it quick.
Okay.
What upgrade do you get with Prime being the coach? Because to make more money, that's all you're gonna get. You're gonna sell more tickets. Your revenues go, but revenue is not the problem with the Cowboys. It's winning is the problem. I remember a while ago, Prime said that he would never coach in the NFL because he know that it's hard to tell grown men what to do.
Exactly.
Me personally, I think that Prime gets the best out of college kids.
Well, I mean, look at Travis Hunter and how he was able to recruit him. It was, hey, I kind of I idolized you growing up. I want to be like you, so I'm going to go to Jackson State so I can learn from you.
Right. So, as I look at it, just being honest, we've only seen Prime and SWAC in the Big 12, and the Big 12 isn't just no dominant conference like that. His first year was expected last year when you got to the bigger stage when you need to beat Kansas. You couldn't even do it, and BYU ran you up and down the field. So you're talking about going. You got the Commanders and the Giants probably last in that division, but I'm a 49er fan. You still got to deal with my Niners in the NFC, the Rams in the NFC. Me personally, I think Prime needs to stay right there in the Big. They'll cement your legacy right there in Boulder, because when you come on that side, that's grown man football, and I don't know if he could get the best out of grown men that's making more money than him.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, Ronnie. I mean, and that was kind of part of my thinking as well, is, it's a lot easier, and I get it, it's harder now, but, when you got 18, 19-year-old kids, they're more impressionable and they are more, you are helping them, for Deion's sake, right? You're probably helping a lot of these guys. Hey, you have the talent to go to the NFL. I want to help get you there. In the NFL, you have a lot of guys that are going to look at you and say, I'm good, coach. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm good. Like, let me handle my business. You keep to yourself. I'll keep to myself. And on top of the fact that I know, we talk about how much players are making in college football now, you're going to walk into a locker room where you have numerous players that are making more money than you and are going to look at you and go, no, I'm good. You don't tell me what to do. On top of the fact that I think at the end of the day, if this hire were to happen, a lot of people would look at this as, okay, Jerry Jones is going for the publicity hire, not the championship winning hire. And I think that would be the final straw for a lot of fans of, I don't know if we can take this organization seriously moving forward under Jerry Jones, because clearly he doesn't seem to be making the decisions based on winning championships as much as what's going to put butts in seats and what's going to win the headline.
Yeah, and I agree with Ronnie too. It's a big jump from the SWAC to the Big 12, and from the Big 12 to not just an NFL team, the Dallas Cowboys of all teams.
And one of the tougher divisions in the NFL.
Exactly. So I just think that, and you brought up a great point. I think Prime is more impressionable on the younger generation because he can speak the language with them and just tell them, like, hey, these are the pitfalls, these are the things you need to work on, and these are the things you need to look out for. Whereas NFL, I mean, if Prime could look at you and you getting burnt as a DB and be like, hey, you ain't got a job tomorrow, big dog. It's just business. I'll let you, appreciate you, and, go on about your day. So I don't know. I agree. I think it's more, if you were to hire Deion in this situation, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, it's a publicity stunt. And I don't know if it directly equates to winning football, because to me, I haven't seen Prime coach without Shiloh or Shador on the field with him. And I don't know what he can do with Dak Prescott, who's, coming back from injury. And now he has a new scheme, has a new system again, on top of just trying to be back from an injury. So I just think a lot of things that you need somebody that's at least been in the game, had some, cut how this NFL track is now, as opposed to just, somebody fresh off the porch and saying, hey, like, come on, let's go, just go do what we need to do. But I just think it would be more of I think it'd be more ball related.
Totally agree with that. But want to keep hearing from you, 205-834-9450 on the Courtesy GMC text line. Have some text to get to when we come back, as well as a quick look at tonight's SEC basketball slate, because there's a lot of great games coming up tonight. So all that coming your way next on JOX 94.5. All right. That one was good.
Is it not fitting?
That was good.
That's what he is. That's essentially Jerry Jones.
Yeah, just to be clear, we're talking about Jerry Jones, not Deion. That's
it's definitely Jerry. He's the problem. Yeah. It's him.
Well, welcome back into Morning JOX. A couple more minutes with Conrad and Damian, getting more of your reaction to the news that Jerry Jones and Deion Sanders have had, I guess, preliminary discussions about the Cowboys head coaching vacancy since they parted ways with Mike McCarthy yesterday. And yeah, we have, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. The Cowboys have a huge fan base, but, you know, we have some Cowboys fans here listening that have chimed in and keep chiming in. And I haven't seen a single one or heard a single one that wants Deion Sanders to be the next head coach. I'll just put it that way, but that may change. But we'll get to your text here in a minute. Quickly, though, just a quick reminder tonight, an excellent slate of SEC basketball action. Both Auburn and Alabama going to be in action. We have 3 top 25 matchups tonight. They are all playing at the exact same time. I don't know who scheduled that. I know Tiger Woods has his little indoor golf thing going on ESPN, and that's fun, but come on. We couldn't spread at least one of these games out, but it is what it is. So tonight you're going to have Auburn at home in Neville Arena taking on Mississippi State. That is a number 1 Auburn, the newly ranked number 1 Auburn Tigers, and taking on the number 15 Mississippi State Bulldogs at 6 o'clock on SEC Network. Alabama back in Coleman Coliseum as they host Ole Miss. That's going to be at 6 o'clock on ESPNU. Number 4 Alabama versus number 21 Ole Miss. One of these teams will no longer be undefeated in SEC play. And then also at 6 o'clock, you have number 11 Texas A&M traveling to Lexington to take on number 8 Kentucky. You also have Missouri and Florida. Florida number 5 in the newest AP poll. That game's going to be at 8 o'clock on ESPNU. Why could that not have been at 6? You know,
you feel me?
I'm just saying. Or let's put this one at 6. Arkansas LSU. The dumpster fire that has been John Calipari's start to his tenure there with the Razorbacks, and LSU is just they're not good. They're the worst team in the SEC as it stands right now. But both of those games at 8 o'clock. So 5 games, 3 top 25 matchups. Unfortunately, all of them going on at the same time. So hope you have multiple screens. All right, getting back to the Courtesy GMC text line real quick. Some of you still chiming in about Deion and the Dallas Cowboys. A text comes in and says, just pay Bill's buyout and go get Belichick from North Carolina. So the interesting thing about Belichick's deal in North Carolina is after June 1st, his buyout drops from $10 million to $1 million.
Okay.
Granted, that's a long time for somebody to go without having a head coach. And if I'm not mistaken, I think $10 million is what Deion's buyout would be right now if you were to get him away from Colorado. So, yeah, I think I would certainly look in that direction before Deion personally. Let's see. Somebody texts in and says, my father said it's always amazing how smart a person gets when a person gets 2 sandwiches ahead. Never heard that one before.
I never heard that.
Never heard that one. Someone says Nick Saban to Dallas. Yeah, I don't think that one's going to happen. John Mack texts in. He says, please, baby Jesus, send Deion and Shadur to the Cowgirls so Matt McLaren can have a worse quarterback to make excuses for.
Oh, boy.
I was talking with Matt